the second race in the semi-final. They'll have quite a long time to wait, because next up onto the track is the women's Madison final. Relatively new event in the World Championships, this one.
Oh, they always worry me, these. There's bodies everywhere. The race breaks up.
It's easy to lose your thread, isn't it?
Frenetic event, and they are some of the most fascinating rides to watch, aren't they? Races to watch, rather.
Great Britain with a good pedigree in this, as I say, relatively new event. Today, Katie Archibald and Emily Nelson. It was going to be Eleanor Barker, but I think suffering after that fall in the Omnium yesterday. So a late change for GB. But Emily Nelson rode last year and got a silver medal.
No, absolutely. I mean, you can just look at the replacement riders. They're not exactly a plan B, are they? It's plan AA. Somebody drops out. It's in good shape, actually, better than I think it's been for a long time at this stage of the Olympic cycle. It's a real quality. The only area of concern is women's sprint at the moment, but everywhere else there's good talent. But the United States have come on, Italy have really come on, so the rest of the world hasn't been hanging about.
Belgium, by the way, are the defending world champions. And Jolien Dora, who rode last year, is in this race tonight. Alongside Shari Bossait, who's just 17 years of age.
So, for those of you who don't know, 120 laps, 30 Ks, sprints, just like the points race, sprints every 10 laps, that's 12 sprints in all. The last one is double. Instead of 5, it's 10 points for first. The only big difference, of course, is there's 2 of them. So they change over, they have to make physical contact, so they either touch the shorts, or in virtually every case, it's a hand sling to transfer the energy as well. It's one of the most highly skilled and physically brutal events on the track. There's Katie Archibald. Now, I would say just off the boil in this competition.
Well, she's been a little unwell, hasn't she? I think she's had a cold, so...
Pulled out of some events, normally rides everything that she possibly can. Wisely so, I think.
Ray Nelson there for Great Britain as well, as they roll around the bottom of the track.
Goes past their teammates in the back straight, who are waiting on the fence.
Italy on the front. They won in the World Cup race in Minsk recently. As the race gets underway, and the first attack has come very, very quickly from the United States, from Kimberly Geist. So that's USA straight from the gun here.
And it looks like they knew that was coming. Sometimes works, these, actually.
Kimberly Zubris there. They've got a little bit of a gap. New Zealand chasing to try and get on level terms with them, but they've already strung the field out here right from the gun at the start of this race. It's a brutally fast start here by the United States. Raquel Sheet chasing hard, but she's not about to catch the American.
I'm not sure it was planned either, because it looked very much like Zubris was taken a little bit by surprise, out of the saddle to get up to speed, but they've got a gap now. It's a very courageous thing to do with 120 laps to go.
Sheet chasing, and Letizia Paternoster from Italy, third in the line. So the United States make the change right on the finishing line and thrown back into the race. It's Kimberly Geist, the world champion in the team pursuit the last couple of years. You're right, Chris, the Americans are having some notable success, certainly in the women's endurance squad, none more so than Chloe Daiger. More about her later.
So 5 laps to go until the first sprint point, the first reward for this effort. And it's the Netherlands who've reacted behind. Peters Wield, that's a very strong team, and they're not getting more than 20 metres. They haven't caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, it's Amy Peters who's racing around the bottom of the track at the moment, as the Italians, who are third in line, make the change, and Letizia Paternoster is thrown into the action. The red jersey, fourth in line, you might be able to just spot there, that's Mexico. So Mexico going well in the early stages here. And for them, it is Sofia Ariola, a two-time World Championship medalist.
Well, with 3 laps to go to the sprints, it's all over now. So that was a wasted effort by the Americans, and that's going to cost them as Italy line themselves up for the sprint.
Paternoster with Peters in behind her, and in third place it is Mexico at the moment, followed by France, Russia. Great Britain just trying to move through, but Katie Archibald forced very, very wide to avoid the New Zealander. Katie Archibald battling hard to try and get in among the points here, as she then just hands over to Emily Nelson here.
Kirsten Bill going to take the points, I think.
Great Britain may get a point on the board here as Kirsten Bill takes the points, and Italy in second place, Mexico there, and Great Britain as well.
Nelson was coming up fast to try and get a shot at the points there.
Netherlands, Italy, Mexico, and GB, 5, 3, 2, and 1.
Well, there's only 5 teams represented here. Actually, the pace has been so high, the field's been blown apart.
Well, this race is in pieces, isn't it? All over the place. We still have 109 laps remaining here.
I think the only thing worse than being a commentator, well, apart from riding, of course, is actually having to be the cameraman and know where the front is. Because there's just bodies everywhere at the moment.
GB wanted to make a change there, but they couldn't. There was too much traffic, and Katie Archibald couldn't get back into the race, so Emily Nelson is going to have to do another lap.
Yeah, if she sits in the wheels, I think she'll be okay here. But it's
Russia on the front at the moment.
Frantic, isn't it? So we've got 7 teams at the moment. 8 teams at the front.
Strong team from Denmark as well. Amelie Diedrichsen is riding this one. Diedrichsen has already won a couple of medals here this week. Mexico leading with Lisbeth Salazar. Salazar being followed by the Danish rider Diedrichsen. And Russia going well as well. And for Russia at the moment, it's Maria Novolodskaya.
Well, one of the changes apart from the obvious with this, other than the points race, because there's teams of 2, they start to line up for the sprint and start to accelerate much earlier because they know that they can throw in a fresh rider. Somehow they have the ability to time it and throw in the rider just in time. About half a lap to go is the ideal.
So now thrown into the race for Denmark is Trine Schmidt. Schmidt third in line. Russia, Netherlands, Denmark, Great Britain, Mexico, Italy. And then a little gap back to France and Belgium. Belgium, the defending world champions. But it's Russia on the front at the moment with Olga Zabelinskaya.
Remarkable, the Belgian pit team are on the back foot here, and the British are beautifully lined up here for the sprint.
Oh, that's a nice move there from Katie Archibald, handing over to Emily Nelson. Nelson's got Amy Peters right on her wheel, but GB here going for maximum points in this second sprint. Nelson has a little look behind to see where Peters is, saves a little bit of energy there, makes sure that she wins the sprint. 5 points for Great Britain, 3 for the Dutch, 2 for Denmark, and Britain are persisting with this effort now.
Well, suddenly there's 3 teams off the front.
3 good ones as well.
Yeah, and it can change very, very quickly because of the nature of the team nature of the event.
Nelson there just waited, and the Dutch and the Danes are with her. The Italians not far behind. Little gap back to the USA, to Switzerland, then Ukraine, Germany, Russia, and Ireland. Lydia Boylan and Lydia Gurley racing for Ireland tonight. They're a very good pairing in the Madison.
They're a lap down. They got caught out early on, so the points have been updated. The Netherlands in the lead with 8 points. Great Britain in the silver medal position with 6. Italy on 4 points. So still well spread around. But the British team are riding extremely well, tactically very, very well, as are the Dutch, as you'd expect. So still nearly 100 laps of racing to go. 97 laps remaining. 96 as they come around this time.
So Denmark on the wheel of Great Britain, with the Dutch there as well. Remember, Kirsten Wild is going for what would be a 3rd gold medal of the championship here.
So 6 teams already lost a lap in this event, and they get docked 20 points for that.
And although they're up seemingly at the front at the moment, Germany are one of those teams who are actually a lap behind, even though they're getting involved at the front according to the computer.
And you know what, I'm trying to work out, how do you class it? Which is losing 20 a lap and which is gaining a lap? Why didn't they get 20 points? Yeah. We'll have a think about that one. I think it's because the larger group, so the smaller group has lost.
That's Maria Giulia Confalonieri from Italy, second.
Really got to watch the action here, haven't you, when it breaks up like this. The riders who are out of the race and resting are supposed to be above that blue line on the track.
A real mix of riders, some real classy road riders here, the likes of Diedrichsen, Wield, Peters. Archibald is just good at absolutely everything, as Emily Nelson just makes a little bit of an acceleration around the outside.
Got 2 laps to go to the sprint lap and a half now, so they've got to start lining up quickly.
Kirsten Wild has been thrown into the action by Peters for the Dutch. Russia about to make a change now as well.
Oh, come on, let's get her in.
And thrown into it is Zabelinskaya for Russia, but Kirsten Wild's got the advantage. Great Britain with a little bit of ground to make up here now, but it looks as if they've got the ability to do it. Woo, powering around the outside of the track. Kirsten Wild's on the front. This is great stuff from Katie Archibald. Not sure whether she took her on the line or not, but this is blistering here from Archibald, who just continues again with the effort and follows it through, and in those few seconds has almost completed another lap.
Yeah, she's I think it's momentum more than anything else that kept her going off the front there. That was a serious speed difference, so perhaps she's feeling better.
Yeah, Great Britain got those points ahead of the Dutch.
Our board not updated the main scoreboard yet, but oh, she got that.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, it's 5 for Great Britain, 3 for the Netherlands, 2 for Denmark, and 1 for Russia. So there we are. We've had 3 of the 12 sprints. Still quite a few laps to go, though, as you can see.
Yeah, and they'll be starting to think about that soon. This race could still turn out very differently. It's easy to get caught out in the Madison, find yourself in a defensive position and never allowed a chance to recover.
Britain leading on 11 points. The Dutch have got 11 as well, joint first. Third, Italy on 4, with Denmark also on 4. Mexico have 2, Russia 1.
So they're the strongest teams in the opening third. And Denmark going on the attack. And it's a good one
through here, and around the bottom of the track it is Schmidt who will be thrown into the race very, very shortly. It's Amelie Diedrichsen on the attack for Denmark at the moment.
Nelson that's chasing, really just injecting pace into the group to make sure this one doesn't get too far. Throws in Archibald.
Timely handover there, plenty of space in which to do it, plenty of clear track.
I think they're looking for a partnership here. They're looking for somebody to get up the road with. The danger's been spotted behind.
Italy are looking to close the gap. Russia and the Netherlands are also hanging on to the coattails. So Denmark at the front, but desisting a little with the effort. Schmidt about to be caught by Katie Archibald. Zabelinskaya for Russia going around on the outside.
It's a very, very aggressive race, this one. From the bell, quite literally, the American teams taking it from the gun, rather. There's been absolutely no let-up at all in this race, the first 30 laps.
So Russia, Great Britain, Italy and the Netherlands, the leading 4 on the track at the moment.
And they're already aligning themselves up for the next sprint. They'll get the bell this time. And the British team beautifully poised. Will the Dutch get over the top in time? Maybe not.
Emily Nelson thrown into it now, and Nelson leads out the sprint. Nelson's in a great position here. The Dutch are trying to come back at them now. I think it's Amy Peters chasing hard, but Nelson's going to take maximum points here for Great Britain. It's Kirsten Wild who was chasing her and couldn't quite catch Nelson.
Well, the British pair is on fire at this point in the race.
The timing of the changes has worked out very well.
I've never really worked out how they do that. It's, I think it's magic.
It looks good when it works, doesn't it?
It does. But just inside that last lap is when you need to launch your partner in. Fresh legs is a relative term, of course.
Well, such was the attacking nature of this race that almost from the gun, you've effectively just got riders sprinkled all around the track all the time.
Well, this is the first ease we've seen, and it's Russia that's going to take advantage, gone on the attack.
Kirsten Mild having a little look.
Yeah, not wanting to chase straight away, just waiting to see if
she was looking at Archibald, wasn't she?
Yeah,
see whether Archibald was going to do it. Katie Archibald clearly said no.
The British team have been quite aggressive up to now and been taking everything on, so she was just seeing if they could coax them into doing more of the chasing.
Archibald just swings up the track momentarily and allows Maria Giulia Confalonieri to come through, the Italian.
Well, that was very much the right thing to do. The Brits now in the lead, 16 points to the Netherlands, 14. Italy on 6 points, Denmark on 4. So they're still well spread around, these points. Remember, one lap gain is 20 points, so it could switch very, very easily.
As you mentioned, Italy very, very strong, having won the World Cup race in Minsk recently, and it's the same pairing who are on the track today.
I think the fatigue is starting to tell now, and nobody's quite as keen to make the running.
Well, it's been an intense race, hasn't it, Chris?
Denmark.
Right from the start. Denmark having a go. It's Diedrichsen once again. It's Amelie Diedrichsen, the 21-year-old
Reported that one.
World Road Race champion, who's already won an awful lot in her young career.
I think Diedrichsen noticed that Wild had spotted it and started to accelerate, so aborted it. It was a wise move, saved the energy.
2 laps to go to the next sprint, I think.
Looking for opportunities.
Letizia Paternoster from Italy on the front. New Zealand second in line in their traditional black kit, with Denmark, Netherlands, Russia, Great Britain, Ireland, Germany, Ukraine and Switzerland in a line behind them.
New Zealand just found themselves caught out early on. They're 20 points behind, but they've definitely got the legs. Oh, good move there by both the British and the Dutch teams.
Sprints on once again, and can Britain snaffle the points here? Yeah. It's going to be a big, big sprint here.
Wow.
And once more, Great Britain taken, and Kirsten Mild just doesn't have an answer.
Well, this is, I have to say...
That was tremendous from Emily Nelson.
It was both well-timed, and physically, she's looking in great shape. She's managing to recover between these sprints. I think we might see the Dutch changing tactics now. They know that they're not going to do this on sprints, and they'll be starting to look for opportunities to attack.
So GB taking another 5 points, the Dutch 3, Italy 2 and Russia 1. Here is the overall situation.
I think that still needs to be updated, yeah. And there it is.
21 to 17. Great Britain lead, 21 points. Netherlands 17, Italy 8, Denmark 4.
So not quite in a defensive position. Defendable. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, there in the end. It's 68 laps to go.
Certainly better to be in front. And the Americans are poised to lose another lap. The early protagonists, always a price to be paid if you go early in this event, because nobody waits for you to recover. I've been in one of these and managed to get myself in a hole, and you just cannot dig yourself out. Recovery times aren't long enough.
Zabelinskaya just got a little bit of an advantage over Britain at the moment. Katie Archibald down the back straight is actually second on the track, despite the fact that when you're looking at it, all you can see is a sea of riders.
We've got another attack into Mexico.
So Mexico,
and remember, they're still on the same lap here. They're back in 6th position at the moment, only 2 points, but British team spotted the danger. The Dutch trying to go with them, but got caught in traffic.
So it's Salazar on the front for Mexico, being followed by Olga Zabelinskaya of Russia. United States up there too, but Britain closing the gap. Nelson doing so. She's got Switzerland and Poland on her wheel. The Dutch there too.
Needs to be careful not to do too much work here. 4 wheels back. The Dutch are getting an easy ride by while Nelson closes down this move. They've only got 3 laps to go until the next sprint, so might have to sit this one out. Or is Katie Archibald going to take it on?
Archibald's just looking behind and slowly winding up and getting ready to be thrown back into the race here by Emily Nelson. The change now. into the back straight, and through the traffic goes Katie Archibald. Negotiated it very, very well. Wasn't sure whether to go left or right there as the Dutch tried to make a change and found it very, very difficult to do so. Bill shoves Peters.
Yeah, not ideal. I think it was Katie who managed to get in the middle.
We're on the sprint lap here now, and Katie Archibald is going to get another 5 points here for Great Britain with 60 laps to go, and she's going to do it with room to spare this time. Well, that changeover didn't work out at all for the Netherlands.
Well, it was actually Katie Archibald who managed to get in the middle of it. I don't think she did it intentionally, but it made their life difficult. I thought they were going to be in trouble there because Nelson did a big chunk of work leading into that, so it's just working out beautifully for them. There we go. I'll just touch you short. They're allowed to do that. It doesn't have to be a handsling, but you just don't get the benefit of that extra energy.
So 5 points, Great Britain, and Mexico 3, Netherlands 2, France 1. That takes France up to -19, so they've still got work to do.
Well, it's not a two-horse race, but it's moving in that direction, isn't it? Italy on 8 points in 3rd position. If they took one lap, they would be into the lead, so it's still close enough here. But both teams of the Netherlands and Great Britain really looking to stamp on anybody who tries to make a move.
Nelson following behind Kirsten Wild at the moment. Still haven't seen anything from the defending champions Belgium, from Jolien Dora and her very youthful teenage partner, an inexperienced partner as well at this level.
So
first little lull, relatively speaking.
6 laps to go. It's a good time to take it.
USA looking like they might try and have another little go.
Well, they've got work to do, haven't they? They're a long way behind now. 14th position, equal 14th position, 40 points down due to 2 lap losses, so you can afford to let that one go.
Kirsten Wild just starts to wind things up a little bit, and Diederiksen is straight on her wheel. Only Britain up there too.
Only 5 teams on the same lap now. That's how hard this race has been, because these are quality riders.
Really hard all the way through. So Diederiksen moves around the outside just as the Dutch make a change. Jamie Peters back in the race now.
Lining up for the sprint now, 53 laps to go this time, so they're well on their way home, past the half distance.
And it's going to be Trine Schmidt, the European champion in the points race and the scratch race, who's into the race for Denmark.
I'm just looking at where the partners are on the track, because 2 laps to go. We'll be looking for that changeover. The British are well poised here. I think you're going to have to be changing with about half a lap to go.
Sabelinskaya's got a little bit of an advantage. Some daylight back to Schmidt of Denmark, then Peters of the Netherlands, and Great Britain up there too with Katie Archibald. Nelson's getting ready to go into the race now.
Beautiful piece of acceleration before the change to get themselves.
They take the bell, and Nelson straight into it now, and she'll go flying past the Russians who are about to make a change. Sabelinskaya now makes the change, but Nelson's away, and she's got an enormous advantage. There's no way anyone's going to challenge this time. This is masterful stuff in the Madison from the British pairing.
Well, they've been technically and tactically superb up to now in this race, and it's the Dutch that keep getting caught out, keep getting caught on the back foot, not changing at the right time. We see a bit of a mechanical problem here for the team from Ireland. Now, there's no neutral here unless both riders crash, so a partner has to stay in and keep riding in the race until she's ready to rejoin.
So Nelson on the front, she's there with Maria Novolodskaya, and Great Britain's lead now is a 10-point advantage over the Dutch, 31-21.
So the Russians in 4th position, just 2 points behind Italy, 8 and 6 respectively, so they're coming good in the second half of this race and looking to take a medal.
Hint of an easing off as they fan out across the track. Here's Katie Archibald once more for Great Britain. She was the world champion in the Omnium a year ago in Hong Kong. Didn't take part in the Omnium here.
Well, the Dutch have gone on the attack now.
It's the Russians.
They're chasing the Russians, but that could be a catalyst, because the British team have effectively got one of the pair they've got to watch now, and they're up the road.
Sabelinskaya and Kirsten Wild, and Britain are chasing it, and Archibald knows that she can't afford to let those two go. She's closing that gap.
and they're going to get the change before the Dutch pair as well, so they're going to get fresh legs in first. So Archibald not panicking, just moving across the gap, already in slipstream there.
The laps clicking by still, and slowly that gap is closed and the joint is made as Great Britain make the change. Archibald throws Nelson back into it once more.
Developing a pattern now, isn't it? More rhythm this race. I think there's a lot of riders already just given up. It's been so hard at this point.
Chris, there are a lot of riders who effectively have not actually been in the race for most of the race because of the pace at the start. But the Netherlands are accelerating once more with Kirsten Wild, and straight away Emily Nelson is onto her wheel, and Amelie Diedrichsen from Denmark chases her, and also Novolodskaya from Russia is up there as well.
Well, we talked about it before. They're not here for a medal. They're here to win. They can see that they're not winning the sprint at the moment. They've got a 10-point deficit, and so they're going to start looking for attacks now.
Kirsten Wild having a little look around. Diedrichsen is stuck on her wheel. Novolodskaya is there.
Bell this time when they come around for the sprint. The Dutch are well lined up. The British pair
make a change now.
Good timing again for the sprint.
Straight into Katie Archibald. So Kirsten Wild is going to lead this sprint out at the moment. The Danes make a change just as Archibald tries to go around the outside, and Schmidt won't be able to challenge that. Netherlands leading up towards the line this time, but they don't get it once more. It's Archibald who's got the Kirsten Wild's number every time in the sprint so far.
They're going to keep going though. The Dutch are going to try. No, spotted it straight away. Remarkable riding by both of these teams, actually. Relentless.
These two, the class of the field in this race so far, with 39 laps to go. Great Britain, Netherlands, Denmark, Italy, Russia at the front of the race, all together on the track.
So a quick recap for you. Great Britain 36 points, the Netherlands 24, Italy on 9 and Denmark on 7. So its two teams are dominant, and they need to be careful now, because if they start watching each other too early, other teams can still take this title. I think it's time for the British pair to start riding tactically as well, start following the wheels. They can afford to give away points and stay on the wheel of the Dutch at this point, but conserve energy to defend.
Dutch make a change into Kirsten Wild.
So if I was one of the other teams now in a medaling position, this is the sort of time when you start to think, right, they're going to have to watch each other, so I might be given an opportunity. Now is the time to go on the offensive. And then the British and the Dutch start to play brinkmanship. It could get interesting, but the laps are ticking down. 34 it will be when they come around this time.
Lydia Boylan on the front of the pack of riders at the moment, just about to do the handover.
So 70% of this field has lost laps already here.
Italy, who are at the moment in third place, are leading the front runners here around the bottom of the track. Just in behind Ireland, who are still 20 points down in joint 8th place.
Well, minus points after the top 5.
And it is Italy with Confalonieri. Netherlands second, Great Britain third, right behind them. It's Archibald, right on Amy Peters' wheel.
So they'll get the bell when they come around next time. Everybody's lining up for the sprint. I'm just looking where their riders are.
Paternoster has just been put into the race by Italy, so they've made their change already.
Oh, look at this, on the bell again.
Nelson into the race now from Archibald, beautifully timed. Here comes the sprint, here comes the British attack once more. Have the others got the speed to respond to this attack from Emily Nelson now as she comes into the finishing straight? Beautifully timed, expertly executed.
This is where she has to be careful, expending a big effort like that. The Dutch could now go on the attack here.
Which looks like they might. It's handed into Kirsten Wild, who's closed the gap to Nelson and is about to go straight past her here now, and Nelson tries to respond to that. Kirsten Wild was all business, and Nelson didn't really see that coming.
No, that's the danger when you're on the offensive, when you're in the lead. Everyone else has got nothing to lose. You need to keep something in reserve for chasing. Well, this is what she's kept in reserve.
And now Archibald swoops down and is back in the race for Great Britain, looking to close that gap. And the Dutch, with Kirsten Wild lead the way, and Archibald says, no, you don't. You're not going to escape this time. And she closes that gap and reels Kirsten Wild in.
But Nelson won't recover it readily here. She sprinted and then she chased. It's going to take some recovering that. So Katie Archibald's going to have to cover this for some time.
And the Dutch on the front foot here again, because they've been able to make the change, and it's Amy Peters. This is the Dutch attempt to try and break the British stranglehold on this race.
26 laps remaining. And remember, double points on that last sprint. 10 points for that last sprint. There are 3 sprints left, so 20 points apart from the lap left in this race.
Great Britain 41 points, lead the way. Netherlands second on 26, Italy third on 12, Russia fourth on 7.
So without the lap, there's 20 points left, and the British pair have a 15-point lead. So nervous times, despite that big lead that they've got at the moment. But put everything into defence now. They don't have to score ahead of the Dutch again, but they can't let them escape. I think the Dutch have shown their hand now as well.
Being marked at the moment, Nelson is stuck to Kirsten Wild's wheel like a limpet. Not giving her an inch as Confalonieri from Italy has a little look around, and she sees that Poland are right behind her at the moment, but they're not a factor in this race. At the front end of the race, the chase is on, and there was a wider line that Maria Novolodskaya had to take for Russia. But here, Italy are having a go, and the Dutch are looking to respond, and Britain now will have to chase the Dutch once more. This time, Italy looking to hoover up the points, but the Dutch are in a good position. The change has been made, and now it's Paternoster. Paternoster is being chased, and on her shoulder is Kirsten Wild. But Wild, I'm not sure whether she's got that pure speed. And here comes Archibald to try and pip Wild on the line yet again.
Well, I'm not quite. I mean, you can see slightly better than me whether she managed it, but this is brilliant for Great Britain, because Italy can close down on the Dutch pair, and so they are forced to ride defensively.
There it is, she's done it again.
Wow.
Italy, Great Britain, Netherlands, Russia, they're the point scorers there. 5, 3, 2 and 1. Great Britain's lead is extended.
Well, do you know what? I don't want to put a jinx on it with 19 laps to go, but I think this is the best tactical race I've ever seen from a British pair, male or female.
Well, some praise indeed, but it has been a masterclass up to now. They still have 18 laps to go. They are not home and hosed yet. As Russia again go off the front. This time it is Olga Zabelinskaya. Zabelinskaya, the silver medalist in the road time trial in Rio, bronze medalist in the road race in the Olympic Games in London.
Don't need to chase this one. I'm not sure this is a great idea. They don't need to go after this. Let the Dutch do it. They're the ones that are threatened first.
Nelson just goes up the track a little bit to allow the Dutch to go through. And Kirsten Wild is back in the race now. Diederiksen's in it for Denmark in the red and white, and for Italy in the blue, it's Maria Giulia Confalonieri, who hands into Paternoster now.
15 laps, 16 laps at the moment, 15 as they come around now.
Inching towards that world title. Getting closer. Now it's Archibald once more. The Dutch having a little look around. It was Wild just looking to see where Archibald was there for a moment. Relatively speaking, a slight lull in the pace. First time in a long time.
Better not to let them get behind. Don't give them the element of surprise. But everybody's looking absolutely nailed now at this point in the race. Just 2 sprints remaining. 15 points on the board.
Russia and Italy are both very keen to get involved in the points here, because the Russians have, well, they've got a bit to make up here, but it is Italy and Russia at the moment in contention for bronze, potentially. A position that Italy are dominant in at the moment, but Russia still fighting. So that's why we've got those two at the front at the moment, and it is Confalonieri for Italy, and she's been followed. And the Dutch are having another go once more here. And Great Britain took the three riders back. They're not quite there as the attack comes from Amy Peters. Peters leads for the Dutch. Italy in second place, Russia third. Great Britain are a little bit off the pace here now, finally. They won't score any points for the first time in a long time in this race.
And this is the move. This is the big effort now. I don't think it's just about the sprint here.
Can they keep it going? Peters for the Netherlands down the back straight. And Great Britain, there's quite a big gap here. They've got work to close it.
Well, that's the only mistake they've made in this race. They got separated about 5 laps ago. But has the Dutch got the gas left to actually do anything with it? It doesn't look like it.
No, and no panic there from Emily Nelson either when she went past that commentary position. And they're right back in it, and the door has been closed once more. But that was an anxious moment.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think they're really feeling it now. Inside, 10 laps to go. World title in sight. Need to get back onto that Dutch wheel.
And that's exactly what Katie Archibald is looking to do. Oh, elbow to elbow there between Schmidt of Denmark and Field of the Netherlands. Great Britain going around the outside, very high up the track there, Archibald.
They don't even have to score here. They just have to make sure no one takes a lap. With 6 laps to go, I don't think anybody can do that now.
Getting closer and closer to that world title. Got to remain vigilant. Moments lapse in concentration. You end up on the deck in a race like this. Is there one last attack from the Dutch? They want to finish in style, even if they don't take the gold. They'll look for a big sprint, but Diedrichsen is thinking about attacking here for Denmark. And she's decided that, yes, she is going to accelerate. Amelie Diedrichsen there in the red and white has opened up a little gap here for the Danes. As Katie Archibald now is going to throw Emily Nelson back into it. They're almost there. 4 laps to go. Last throw of the dice for Denmark now.
1 kilometre remaining in this Madison World Championship. The British poised to take the world title. Less than a minute of racing remaining.
And tucked in not too far behind the Netherlands on the wheel of Mexico is Nelson for Great Britain now.
Going for it.
And Nelson accelerating down the back straight, and she's going past the Dutch as if they were riding through treacle, as she appears now in the finishing straight, chasing down Italy, going past them. Russia in her sights. Denmark with less than the length of the back straight advantage, but it's not going to happen for them as we're going into the last lap of the race here now. And Great Britain with a final changeover to take the bell, and it's 1 lap for glory here now for Katie Archibald as Archibald goes down the back straight. This has been an absolute Madison masterclass, a wonderful ride from start to finish, and Katie Archibald crosses the line. Great Britain are the world champions in the Madison. That was stunning, that was brilliant. Take a bow, Emily Nelson and Katie Archibald. No wonder everyone in the stadium are giving them a standing ovation. Tremendous race.
Well, she nearly ran out of getting the gears there. Her legs were going to come off. She was going so fast on that final lap. What an enjoyable experience that must have been. I've not seen a Madison performance like that in many years. It was a joy to watch. I couldn't believe that they managed to line it up time after time. A delightful performance. And at the start, I said, you know, I think Katie Archibald might be a bit off the boil. Well, she seemed all right there, I think.
It's hard to think how you can ride a race better than that.
And Emily Nelson, do you want to ride the Madison? Yeah, I'll ride the Madison.
And for the first time this week, Kirsten Wild didn't have the answers.
I thought that would be the team to beat, to be honest. I thought the Dutch were on a high, the form we've seen already, fantastic. And they just didn't get a look in. They couldn't win a sprint, they couldn't escape.
That was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So Great Britain winning the gold medal here in Apeldoorn in the women's Madison. And they were the class of the field. And what a race it was from all the way through. Straight from the gun, it was an attacking race. Not a moment's respite. It was so intense that most of the field weren't actually effectively in the race from about 2 laps in.
No, only 5 teams didn't lose a lap in that race. So 10 teams of this standard lost a lap or more. Some teams lost 4 laps, 3 laps.
Well, Emily Nelson was a silver medalist in this event last year in the inaugural World Championship and has gone one better this time. Katie Archibald now is a world champion for the 3rd time in her career. There's Emily Nelson. And time again, their timing, their tactical acumen, their nose for the race was absolutely bang on the money.
It's just evenly matched as well. They complemented each other well, both able to sprint. But I think probably what impressed me more than anything was the timing. Lap after lap, they just threw in at the right time for the sprint. And the Dutch were the polar opposites. It wasn't just the physiology. They didn't get any of the changes right. They didn't line it up for the sprint. And they just couldn't seem to get coordinated.
Well, getting the helmet off is proving to be harder than the race itself, Katie Archibald.
Team from Denmark getting a hug there. They acquitted themselves well. They were probably the most attacking team, weren't they? This has proven to be quite a challenge, extricating Katie Archibald from that helmet.
Oh, we've lost our moment, haven't we?
We've lost our moment. It's all gone.
So Great Britain win 50 points, Netherlands 2nd on 35, Italy 3rd on 20, just 2 points ahead of Denmark.
Looking a little bit deflated there.
There we are, there's the confirmation, the official result of the women's Madison. Brilliant race. It
was a real tussle for that bronze medal position, wasn't it, between Denmark and Italy. Denmark tried everything they could to escape.
And Russia as well towards the end. They
Yep.
were attacking as much as possible. Didn't go quite so well for some of those teams towards the rear of the
United
field.
States 15th.
They were the first to attack.
First to attack. They had it bookended.
Well, there's a great picture. And the reality of finishing in 2nd place, albeit for the first time this week for Kirsten Beals.
Come on, no need to be greedy.